My whole life was based on a lie. Can't go back to the way things were.
A real man doesn't avoid hard things. He faces what scares him.
Will.
Your character is so, she's a very warm-hearted person, and yet her partner's taking advantage of her. And I love the way that she claims what's hers, which I think is a terrific lesson for young women, if you would comment about that.
Yeah, I think Hillary and her storyline and that power dynamic between her and Ivy is very relatable, especially with women of color kind of feeling like there's a limited amount of seats at the table. And so it's kind of like a may the best person win thing, when really they're so similar. They have the same work ethics and the same, ideals and goals. And so I think finding that way to coexist is something that I love being able to portray, and hopefully will help other young women who are trying to find their place in the world not feel that air of competition. But at the end of the day, it's Hillary's confidence for me, because she's always, even if it comes to like picking friendship and having to lose herself, she's always going to find her way back to her center at the end of the day.
Where does money come from? Just a couple street ball games, no big deal.
Okay, now I'm worried.
Kira, Ashley is kind of defined by her curiosity and intellect, and she loves to read and she loves to question and find things out. Do you relate to her in those terms? Or is she completely different from you?
No, I think me and Ashley do have a lot of similarities. In the way I'm really open to taking advice and learning. And just like Ashley, I tend to put others, I tend to care for others before I care for myself. And also I am similar with Ashley in the way that she looks up to her older sister, Hillary. I also look up to my older sister, and I just want to follow everything that she does, and I love everything that she loves.
I did what I did for Will's sake.
West Philly Will is back, baby.
But he's reverting back to his old ways.
Let's go. There's this big-time scout, and he's helped a lot of dudes get to the pros.
That fancy Bel-Air team got you and your game so if you come work with me, sky's the limit.
Cassandra, Vivian is involved in an extremely timely situation, a painful, kind of disgusting situation when Ashley's teacher's fired for giving her books on Black history in the United States. That is incredibly timely. Was it upsetting to deal with that?
I think it's quite cathartic. It's always cathartic to do a role that's alive in the atmosphere right now. Look, I think acting is a very therapeutic tool to try to gain compassion for other people, but also to let out whatever's on the inside that you feel restricted. So it feels good. And, just think we did that storyline before it was majorly on the front page of the newspaper. And now that there's laws being enacted in Florida, it's just like we're in 1984's plot line right now. So when I did that episode then, I think if I did it now, it might be tweaked even more at this point.
We need to talk about our partnership.
You're a boss. I'm just trying to bring it out.
If you don't set the tone, she's just gonna keep on walking all over you.
I was trying to be someone different. The BSU, the protests, all people see are my mistakes.
Ladies, tell me about, just briefly from each of you, how does costuming help you? Because your outfits are sensational.
I think the costumes definitely bring the character to life. The outfit for Ashley, I think, really stood out this season is the one she wears in episode 10. I always describe it as being, she is like a cocoon this whole season. And then episode 10, she really bursts out into a butterfly.
Yeah, I really love how when I came back this season, I talked to Queen about how I really wanted to bring like Fela elements to her wardrobe, more international designers. Last season, we had like an Oscar de la Renta dress and a lot of people who are more in that world. And this season, you'll see a lot of people from the continent, like West Africa and some East African designers. And I think it's like Aunt Vivian's way of like really tapping into her own well of creativity and sort of breaking out of the norm that she sees around her. So I just love the color pattern, the colors and the textures that we play with this season. Can't believe you're going back so soon.
Well, baby, you know I can't sit still for too long.
When is it my time to feel valued? I wish to create a legacy where we are represented.
I think it's time you take the gloves off, babe. Right, Carlton?
Carlton!
Bel-Air, new season, premieres Monday, March 20th, only on Showcase.